So I got a question asked to me where someone was asking, when a community is just formed and a few people are in it, what do you do to get things going? I feel like this is a question that most people should be asking when they're getting started, and the answers that they get are going to determine whether or not this is a person you should be listening to. Because the people that overcomplicate it are the ones that are probably going to
Hmm.
help lead you into more overthinking and
Hmm.
lead it also to the fact that you're probably not going to like succeed with your first community. You might have to start a few before you actually get it. Cuz the answer to this is pretty simple. I answered it and this is like the whole answer if you want to read it. But I think it's each community's owner's responsibility to each member is to help them connect and make a friend within the community.
Right. So, how do you help people make friends in your community then?
One thing is that I like to do just simple ways of allowing people to say what they want to say that they don't get asked often. So there's people that have like we all have strong opinions. We all have things that we either strongly disagree with or we strongly say that this is the opinion we have. Or I
Hmm.
really love this thing or I hate this thing. Like I don't like spiders, you know? Or there's people that have strong opinions on pineapple on pizza. That's one of my favorite questions to ask because people are going to
Hmm.
bond over that. In fact, my best friend and I bonded over teasing my brother about auto tune when it comes to like music because my brother's really big into music and we had never met each other and we bonded online with trolling my brother about auto tune. So it's just one of those things where connections are made when two people choose to continue a conversation back and forth, which is the whole engagement side of things. And that can happen in a
That's
post or on a call.
that's so simple, but I know from being in your communities and seeing it happening that it does work. And it's crazy to think that like making money online could be as simple as getting two like getting two people and being like, "Hey, do you guys like pineapple on your pizza?" And instead we're focusing on like how can I build the craziest funnel? How can I get my, YouTube videos looking like the most amazing? How can I do all this other shit? And this like just getting those conversations happening is like really what a lot of people just are missing out
It
on.
really is. And you see that like there's so many different ways that you can bring it back into play is people will talk about like places that they're going to go travel. And so one of the number one places that people talk about is like San Diego because everyone's like,
Mm.
"Oh, the weather is so good in San Diego." Or like someone says the word or the phrase New York. Like I went to New York and they're like, "Haha, the city that never sleeps." And so it's
Mm.
those phrases that connect and give somebody something to say. You're giving people permission to say things.
Right.
And there's so many times where people are not given a moment to speak. They need these moments to talk.
Mm.
That's why the loneliness is like they talk about the loneliness epidemic and some people think it's overplayed and then there's some people that are just like no we really are lonely. And I think that the loneliness comes from the isolation, from the thinking that there is things that we can't say, or there's things that we can't do, or the fear of rejection. Because if we put something out there, what if it fails? So, what if it fails? Or what if it helped one person?
So, why do you think so many people are not putting that kind of emphasis that they need to on connecting people when they're just building their communities?
Because the bro hustle culture, we're so used to courses and funnels and creating almost a facade. And I think that's what a
Mm.
lot of people are like really messing up on is because when you focus on those like little shiny things or those pretty packaging, people are missing out on the fact that if they would be just driving home the
Yeah.
friendship thing, that it's going to be very
Yeah.
authentic. There's not any kind of like
Yeah.
icky thing. I'm not like, hey, William, you need to make a friend with this person because I need money from you. Because
Yeah.
it's not going to work that way. People are immediately going to hit red flag. But if you try to sell me
Hmm.
something and you try to sell me a dream or the long lasting outcome, I can there's a lot of people that can get tricked into that. I talked to somebody today
Hmm.
that was asking me if an offer for $35,000 was worth it because this is what they were saying. And I was like, well, what did they ask you as far as the income or like how much it was going to cost and payments? And it was like, well, what way can you make it work for you? Like, do you not have any other resources to make this
Mm,
thing work? And it just felt so ick that I go, immediately,
yeah.
that's fluff, you know?
Yeah.
Like a friend's not going to recommend it to another friend if they know their friend can't afford it. So
Yeah.
if people would just really focus on the friendships, then they can already build that trust factor a lot faster. And then that community is going to have all those things by as a byproduct.
It's funny. I feel like in some ways it feels like the hard thing to do is the kind of the hustle culture thing where it's like I have to make as much content as possible with the best, highest quality as possible and make my, send as many DMs as I can and do all of this kind of stuff to get your message out there and uh, build your business in this way. But just reaching out to people and having conversations with people and connecting with people is like so foundational. And I don't know. It's taken me a long time to figure that out.
I will tell you that the bro hustle culture is only hard for people that have high standards for their integrity on how they show up online.
Hmm.
And I know that saying that is probably not going to make some people happy, but I truly believe that the people that connect with this side of community building where it is about
Hmm.
friendship, they care so deeply about what people think of their word. They care so deeply about their recommendations. They care so deeply about the space that they're creating for others to be in that they
Hmm.
could not dare be sleazy in a sales thing. That's why most people that are trying to build communities are like, sales are hard for me. And when we
Right.
break it down into like sales is actually just offering more help, that's when it starts to connect for
Yeah.
them.
For somebody who's listening to this, then, like, what is the thing that they need to do if they've maybe tried a community before and it wasn't working for them? Like, if they were too focused on that kind of other way of doing things, like, how do they start with this, with this more real way of building a business?
I think it's about putting yourself out there and talking to more people. A lot of people get really scared about getting on calls because like you're also worried about like are you going to be sold? And or what is this even about? But if you get on more calls and you talk to people and you take off the
Mm-hmm.
pressure of having to perform, you take off the pressure of that there's any expectations to a call other than just showing up as yourself, then they can
Mm-hmm.
start to create the what Sam would say is like the 10 true members. I think it's closer to like you at least need 5 to start. But if you have like 5 people that are consistently having conversations in your community, then I think you're good to go. 10,
Cool.
10, you're better off. So I don't disagree with Sam. But if you will go out there and speak with people that have similar interests and then you have them wanting to come in and get excited, you need to just provide that extra thing of like why would they do this in your community and invite them.
I'm curious, how does this lead to revenue? Just talking with people, having these coffee chats. I mean, I kind of know, but I'm curious your take on it.
So it's all about showing up. Like why do they want to be here? If people can feel like they're seen, heard, and remembered, which is the thing that I keep going back to, is they have a place to belong. And when they have a place to belong, then they're going to engage because they're going to want to talk with their friends. They're going to grow because it's a friendly place. They're going to recommend this to other people. They had a good feeling here. So they want other
Hmm.
people and they want to be helpful and tell other people about it. If you had like a good moment where you got like a great haircut, you're going to tell other people to go to that place. And if it's not one, then you're going to tell them not to go to that place. Same with like
Hmm.
sometimes people get the word retention mixed up. It's almost like they treat retention as another word for churn, but retention is actually that the person is showing up
Hmm.
daily and it is that they're consistently going to be engaging in the community and the long period of time that they're in the community. So you reduce churn because you're increasing the retention because they choose to be there. You're making a place where they want to be. And if you're making a place where they want to be, you get one friend to spend money there. Well, now they want to spend money on that too. Because how many times do you see people buying something similar? Like my friend got these sunglasses, so I had to get a similar pair.
Yeah, it's true. As soon as you hear one person in the community talking about how they bought the upsell or whatever it is, immediately you're like, oh, I guess I'm missing out. I should probably get that thing
Yeah,
too.
especially when it is something that's so good. They're going to want to also have that really good thing because they trust their friends.
Hmm.
I'm going to take a recommendation to go to a restaurant from a friend versus some stranger or an advertisement because my friend knows me. They know that I probably will like it or not like it.
If building a community is really that simple of just helping people connect, then why would they need any extra help with that? Like why would they come to somebody like you to help if it's that easy?
Because again, people overthink things. There's a lot of times where we see something simple, but instead of just taking action on it, we start to try to see how would we do that or what would that look like when we're doing this? Or can I get a visual example? We're all different types of learners, so we could receive the information, but we actually need to see it happening in real time. We need the proof that
Mm,
this is what people are doing. This is what people are bonding over. And that's
right.
something that I do in my communities is we get on calls. I my particular way of doing it is I really like us to have conversations because I want to break the silence. I want people to be able to speak with their voice because too many people are just stuck online typing. But we still do it also within the post too. You'll notice that people tend to bond over different things that are being said. So, if people want a good example, of this being done, or if they want to throw a question out there. Like maybe they cannot ask the question about pineapple on pizza. They're wanting to have a question that feels right and almost feels authentic to them, but they can't think through it. Something just doesn't feel like it's clicking. They can come into the community and start to talk about what they're trying to build. How are they going to connect? They could ask the question inside a community of what questions should I be asking to help draw that out. Because those are the things that I love to put out there. Because when somebody asks one question in a community, I get to answer it for them. And that builds like a whole different kind of brainstorming or aha moments for anybody else that gets to read it.
Cool. So where do they go to do that?
So on I have my communities inside the I guess it would be the description and you can join. I have a free community or I have a paid community and they're both going to help you in whatever stage you're going in. I know most people would tell me to tell you go to my paid community first because that's like where you get the real sauce or whatever, but I would rather people come to the free community, get to see and feel the vibe, take the little step out of their comfort zone and post something and see what happens. See the kind of people and the kind of community that's being created. So they'll find that. And if they want even more help and they're not ready to join a community yet, they can always just subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be making more content.